question come in.
Okay, it's starting.
All right.
Okay, my first question is, so were you drafted into the military or was it by choice?
Well, because I was in the Marine Corps, I joined.
Okay.
People get drafted into the Army, or they did back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And I joined it right out of high school because I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't hold a job. I was pretty much of a mess. So,
Yeah. So join the military. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And when you heard that you were going to be deployed to Vietnam, what were the feelings that you had? Like, what was like the immediate thought process?
Mm-hmm. Well, in 1969, the media was very different, and what we knew about war was very, very different. The only thing we knew about it is it showed up on the 5 o'clock news.
Mm-hmm.
And your parents would sit in front of the TV set with a highball and watch war that seemed, in some exotic place called Vietnam. So I didn't really understand the war. I didn't think much of it. I didn't have any thought about being patriotic at all. I joined the Marines to
just
to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So joining the Marine Corps, the Marines believe themselves to be the finest, the toughest.
Mm-hmm.
And so the minute you get in there, you're told you're the toughest, you're the finest, you're the meanest. And so you get this mentality that is about you're the best and you want to go fight. Why else be a Marine? If you're going to be a Marine, you want to go to war.
Yeah.
So I actually got shipped over to Okinawa to start with.
Okay.
Like half my friends went to Vietnam and half of us went to Okinawa. And I was supposed to spend the year in Okinawa, but I kept volunteering for Vietnam.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because why be a Marine? I mean,
just go all out. Is that what you thought?
You really have no idea what war is until you get there. So, or at least back then, you didn't have the videos and everything you have now, the books. So I just kept volunteering, and finally I got sent over there, which was a great day. I was excited, yay! And everybody was congratulating me. Good for you, Dougherty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So at first you were really excited.
Very excited.
And how was your first night there? What happened?
Well, actually, my first couple hours there were, because all of a sudden when I'm on the plane flying over there, I'm going, what in the hell did I do? What am I getting into? What is this thing? But you try not to think about it, but we landed, and then we were marched out to our hill, and it was around Da Nang. And what I was aware of is that the Vietnamese people, looked at us with hatred.
Oh, yeah, like the Mama San in your book?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All of them just looked at us with hatred, and we were all freaked out. It's like, give us a gun. We didn't have any guns yet. We were all boots. We were marching around with our brand new uniforms on, and we stuck out like a sore thumb, and the people just looked at us with hatred, and the place was a garbage dump with military gear. Stuff was just dumped all over the place. These people were living in our dump in their country. And this one old woman, she came walking toward us with just such hatred. The hatred was just flying off her like sweat. Mm-hmm. And she was dirty and filthy and screaming at us when we were all wide-eyed young 18-year-old boys. Yeah. And she turned around and she pulled up her dirty, whatever they call it, gown or dress or whatever, and took a shit right there with us. And then she pointed at us and screaming at us, and it was just like...
Oh, wow. So that was your first... That was within like the first hour. and
I thought I was going to be a hero.
Yeah.
In all the movies, we were, we won everything, we fought, and we were always the good guys. And this woman was saying, "You're no hero here, you dogs."
Wow.
Yeah, so it just took my breath away. It was
like, so you were really surprised that...
I was surprised, and I realized I really have no idea what I got myself into. I have no idea why we're here. I have no idea what the war's about. I have no idea about anything. And I just volunteered.
Just to do it.
Just to do it, and here I am, and oh my God, what did I do?
Oh God,
knucklehead.
That would be really scary for me, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, scary. I wasn't. It was scary.
Yeah, I would think so. Okay, so I read also about that one night where you were stationed on like a hill, right? And then one night your lieutenant told you to like move out or something.
Yeah. So what happens is when you're on a hill at night, especially a hill where the enemy knows you are, they like to attack at night because in the daytime we ruled most of Vietnam because we had all the planes and the big guns. So they had to hide because we could just call in the planes and helicopters and bomb the heck out of them. At night, they ran the country. We went back into our bunkers or our hilltops, and they came out and did what they wanted. They attacked us at night. So if you were on a hill where you thought there was a chance they might attack, you sent like 3 men out, 500 yards or something. It was called a listening post. And you go out there in the dark and you listen.
Okay.
And you're supposed to listen, and if the enemy's coming, you're supposed to warn the guys back on the hill so they don't get surprised and they have a chance to respond better. So we went out this night, listening post on, and it was a night we were pretty sure the enemy was going to attack. I mean,
oh, really?
the
Were things
rumors
getting
were
really
out.
bad and stuff? Yeah.
We were pretty sure, and that's why he sent us out. He sent us out farther than we should have gone. He sent 6 of us out instead of 3. And it was, everybody knew that it was a really good chance that something bad was going to happen that night.
And so you were obviously very frightened.
Terrified.
And everyone else was really scared too.
We were out so far, and we knew if they came, and they came around us, that they could kill us easy. So we knew if they came, we were dead. And so then we heard the movement coming toward us, and we knew that if that's the enemy, we're dead.
Yeah.
And it went on slowly and slowly for minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and you're just hanging there,
Like sitting ducks,
ready
right?
to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really, really nerve-wracking.
It was freaky. I sat there and I kept thinking about my friends back home at the bowling alley. I kept thinking, right now it's nighttime, they're sitting in the bowling alley shooting pool or playing pinballs and laughing and having a beer. And I'm over in this field in this country called Vietnam. I'm just about to die.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is nuts. This is absolute. What am I doing here?
Yeah. So you thought initially that it was like a mistake of you ever joining the Marines and stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that I was going to die in this field at night in Vietnam for what? Made no sense at all.
Yeah. And then I thought the worst part of that night was when the Moore, is that his name?
Yeah.
He lit his Zippo lighter.
Yeah.
That is the worst. Were you really mad at that point?
I was so freaked out by then. I was absolutely, we were all just sort of strung out to the max, and he was too, because he just, you just can only be that terrified for so long before you just start to space out. And he clearly thought everything was fine. And I don't know, it had been 10, 20 minutes, an hour, it's hard to even know, because it just went on and on. And when he lit his lighter, it was like if there was any doubt whatsoever where we were, he just told the whole world within half a mile, the Marines are sitting right here next to this rock. You want to kill us? Here we are.
Gosh, that is really, really bad. And then he got a beating when he got back, though.
Yeah, he did. That was great.
Yeah, that would be, that's like revenge.
Yeah. And I think he was glad he got it. I think he knew he had to do some penance. He really endangered all of us. And I think the beating sort of let him come back in. Because if nothing would have happened, we would have just sat there with this hatred toward him. And he knew he did something really stupid.
Yeah.
And so when Ross took him out and beat him, it just sort of, everybody relaxed, and then he came back in and everything was fine, and we went back to work.
All right. Yeah, well, at least you got through that.
Yeah.
Did you have to do, like, that certain night, like, again? Did you have to, like, go out and listen?
Yeah.
Did you ever come in contact with, no, okay. Well, that's good, at least.
Yes.
Were you ever, like, in a firefight or anything like that?
Not like that.
Okay, that's good, too.
Yeah.
In Tim O'Brien's book, they were talking about how So there was like this swamp area. Was there like a lot of swamps? Yeah.
I was in the mountains, he was in the swamp.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah, so there was a lot of swampland in his book, and they were talking about how it was like they had to camp out there, like the lieutenant told them to, but it was like a mistake. And so they were camping out there, and it was raining and it rained a lot there, I heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It did.
So it was raining for like all day, it never stopped at all, and then like they were actually, what they thought was like a marsh was really like a sewage area.
Oh,
And so they were like literally, they were sitting in like a bunch of crap and poop and stuff, and and they couldn't even move because they were like stuck in it.
oh my God.
Yeah.
We were out one night, and we were in the middle of a pagoda, and there's a lot of rice paddies in this one area. And so there's rice paddies around this circle of land, and the circle of land is called the pagoda. And we were on this pagoda, and we knew that they were in the area. So you just know that they know where you are at night, absolutely, because they know everything, because the villagers
Because they live there, yeah.
yeah. So we're out there at night, and it's a scary, scary night, and there's crickets. I mean, about 1 million crickets. It is so loud, it's just like, it's deafening, and you want them to shut up because you can't hear. And so all these crickets are going in this rice paddies, and the thing you want to do at night is you want to hear. More than
yeah.
anything, because that's the only thing you can do, is you're always sort of trying so hard to listen. You're just trying to listen. And these crickets are so damn loud. And in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, all 1 million crickets stopped at the same moment.
Oh my.
And if you ever walk down the street or through the jungle or wherever, you know that crickets stop when somebody walks by.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so we knew there was a good chance that the crickets all stopped because people were out there. And so then, and all of a sudden, the whole world was absolutely quiet. And we're thinking, oh my God, here we go. And we sat there suspended for about 5 minutes, and then the crickets started back up. And
Oh my gosh, the suspense, that must be terrible.
oh,
I hope I never ever experience suspense like that.
that happens a lot at night. It's just freaky. Stuff like that happens all
Yeah.
the time. And
Did you ever get used to that?
no.
No, I don't think anyone really would.
No. Yeah, there was a few guys who really handled war well. There were a few guys who just were relaxed and knew when to get afraid and when not to get afraid, and just these guys were, but the rest of us were just scared
Just,
all the
yeah,
time.
scared.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really,
Yeah.
that's just really like, I don't know, I can't really imagine it.
Or,
Yeah, I hope I never have to experience anything like that. So what kind of things did you carry on your being?
ammunition and food. Just lots of food. We would put 60, 80 pounds on our back. When we out in the mountains, we just giant packs that weighed just, and it was food and bullets and hand grenades.
Wow.
So that's all you needed. You had one pair of clothes to change in, and a poncho for rain.
Was it really hot there?
Very hot.
Yeah, wow, that's terrible. Like you're sweating while walking around.
Just hate it.
How often or how many miles would you say you like trekked throughout the day?
It changed so much, and it really depended upon the terrain. It really depended upon what you were looking for. Sometimes we would walk for hours and just cover miles, and sometimes we'd walk for hours and cover 1 mile because it was so up and down mountains and through jungle and
Yeah.
yeah. We were out one day. I was the point guy, and it was my first time on point. And point, you don't want to be point because the first guy to get killed is point.
Point, is that like the leader?
Right.
Okay.
So when you're walking through the jungle, you're all walking in a line because it's the only way you can walk in a jungle. And somebody's walking point, breaking trail, or if you're on an animal trail or something, he's the first guy walking down the trail. So if he's going to see the enemy, he's going to be the first one to
Yeah.
who sees who first. if there's a booby trap, he's going to be the one who's either going to
Step
trip
on
it
it.
or hopefully see it in time. And I was out there one day walking point, and I wasn't good. I was so scared. I was so scared I was walking too fast. I got really mad at the lieutenant because he did something really stupid, and then I walked really fast, and I was terrible. It was just really stupid. And so I walked a long way out, and then we got to a little stream that was called Nebraska Falls, and everybody came out, and everybody was just pissed off at me because I was going way too fast. And the lieutenant came out, and he was just screaming at me, and everybody was just pissed off. But the lieutenant, he said, that was so terrible, you endangered everybody, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm never going to let you walk point again.
And that was supposed to be a punishment?
And I went, what? And everybody turned and said, what? And everybody said, oh, this lieutenant was really, I mentioned him in my book, too. He was really a stupid guy.
Yeah, and you mentioned someone told you to shoot him if he did something wrong.
Yeah. And so everybody knew that this guy, if he did something stupid in the middle of a battle, just shoot him, and we'll come up with a
Just
lie.
move on.
Yeah. So at least in that, everybody hated him even worse because it was the last thing that you would ever do.
Yeah.
Yeah.